My name is Katie, and this is Abby, and this is a wellness workshop tonight. We do this every first and third Wednesday of the month. It's just simply titled Wellness Workshop, and if you're ever interested to see what the next workshop's topic is going to be, we always put it up on Facebook. You're able to click on there and find out more details as to what it's about. So we have a couple of new faces in here, so we're just going to do kind of a review as to what Nepute Wellness is, what we're about, and what we're going to talk about tonight. So we are a place where a lot of people come. We see many different health issues. There are a lot of different health issues going on out there, and a lot of people are realizing that drugs and surgery is just not really working anymore. There's definitely a time and a place for it, but when it comes to a point to where those things aren't working, where do people go? We focus on alternative health. We focus on the body, how it works, finding the root cause of the problem. And once we find the root cause, we're able to help treat it. So that's a very simple overview. We have many different aspects of Nepute Wellness. We focus a lot on nutrition, the neurology of the body, the physical body, and many other different areas that really helps to drive a person into finding out their true health and becoming a healthier person in general, boosting their quality of life. And most of you already know that, especially if you listen to the radio show. Dr. Nepute talks about it a lot on there. So tonight, as most of you know, we're talking about milk. So how many of you know a little bit about calcium? What are some things that you've heard about calcium?
Good for your bones.
Good for your bones. And how do we usually get it?
I take 4 of those pills a day.
Milk.
No, I take 4 of those pills a day. But yeah.
Or a supplement. So we're going to crack a couple of myths, because milk certainly can't be the only thing on the planet Earth that has calcium in it. And is it the best for you? That's another question. We see a lot of celebrities on these posters and in commercials, and they have the milk stash, and they might be dressed in a nice outfit and it says "Got Milk," at the bottom. That's really what was imprinted on my memory, especially as a child. My mom was always like, drink your milk, you don't want to have brittle bones when you're old, and da-da-da-da-da. So my whole life I have been completely convinced that calcium, I gotta get it from my milk. And but then I started to think, what about people who are allergic to milk? How do they get calcium? How do they keep their bones healthy? And what all goes into it? Why is there so much osteoporosis and arthritis and all these different bone diseases? So what I'm going to do for the next couple minutes is simply present a couple of facts. That's my favorite thing to do, is research. I like to find facts and present them and let people make their own decision, basically. We're not here to say, yay or nay. Ultimately, obviously, we'll kind of convey our opinion, but we figured if we present you the research and things to think about, that you can make a decision for yourself and your family. So I'm going to read from an article that I found. And it actually has a couple of links. I can email them to you guys as well. The full article, it'll basically say everything that I'm going to say tonight and show you the research articles. There's a reference from the British Medical Journal, so pretty respected resources. All right, first, calcium is of course the cornerstone mineral in bones. Essentially it is. We are taught that calcium is good for our bones, and it is. That's very true. 3 facts that I really wanted to point out, which are very interesting, is that the countries with the highest dietary calcium consumption, which is US, Canada, and some Scandinavian countries, also have the highest rates of osteoporosis, which kind of makes you think, if we're consuming the most calcium out of anybody in the world, then why do we have the highest rates of osteoporosis? Something's missing. What is it? Fact number 2, calcium supplementation actually increased the risk of heart attacks in a study done by the British Medical Journal. And that study was done on people who weren't taking really many other supplements. They were specifically taking calcium, because sometimes you can go to the doctor and the doctor will say, well, come on, you're getting to that age, here's a calcium supplement, you gotta take it. But sometimes they don't expand or really go into more detail about that. So the study was done on patients who took calcium in isolation from other nutrients. And that's important to remember for a couple other things I'll talk about. And thirdly, very little dietary calcium actually makes it into the bones. In fact, it's estimated that when you take a calcium supplement, you actually only absorb maybe 1 to 2% of what you're taking. So for instance, a 100 milligram pill of calcium, you will absorb maybe 1 to 2 milligrams that actually gets into the bones. So if you're getting 1 to 2% into your bones, where is the rest of it going? Well, there are a couple of things we need to know about calcium. and that it doesn't work by itself. By itself, you consume it, it goes into the bloodstream, but if you don't have a way to get the calcium from the bloodstream into the bones, it's going to hang out in your blood and do what? Probably calcify within your arteries, which is why in the study it showed that there was a high risk for heart attacks, or that it actually caused heart attacks. And that's also why you can develop calcification on your bones and your joints, and they get really achy because there's bone there that shouldn't be there, but your body has nowhere else to put the calcium. It can't pull it into the bones yet. So a couple of things that really helps that, and that calcium works with, are vitamins D3 and K2 and a few minerals. So I'm going to talk about those specifically, how you can get them into your diet, and why calcium by itself can be actually quite dangerous. Let's see. So actually, it's not specifically a lack of calcium that causes osteoporosis, which is the myth that we're kind of busting tonight, but it's actually a lack of specific vitamins that you have to take in addition to the calcium that will cause the osteoporosis, or other bone diseases. So some of the minerals that are really important to take along with calcium is, of course, magnesium. That's why actually sometimes you might see a supplement that'll say calcium and magnesium, and it'll all be in one pill. Because magnesium and D3 and specific minerals pulls the calcium out of the blood and shoves it into the bones. Essentially, that's not explaining it scientifically, but you guys can kind of picture it, right? Calcium needs to be ushered into the bones. Some places that you can get some of these things, so magnesium, some different sources you can get. You can take a magnesium pill, sure, but how about we get it from food? Because typically food doesn't have just one thing. It has many different things in it as well. So for instance, magnesium is found a lot in nuts, seeds, legumes, and leafy green vegetables, which we talk about a lot. It really is. Leafy green vegetables have just about everything. They're so useful. They have many different minerals and vitamins in them. And that's why it's important to really try to focus on getting vitamins and minerals from your food and not just supplements. Supplements are great to get you through a rough time. They're great to get you through maybe helping you lose weight. But like Abby said, what do you do after you've lost all this weight? Do you continue just taking supplements the rest of your life? Or do you kind of focus on getting delicious foods into your diet? So magnesium comes from nuts, seeds, legumes, green veggies, and believe it or not, ladies, raw dark chocolate. So that's a wonderful thing. If you can find an organic, raw type of dark chocolate, yes, it's a little more pricey, but man, is it so delicious. And it's so rich that you might have one bite and just be done. Save that bar for a later time. That's what I usually do. Another place that you can get some of these minerals, silica is a mineral that is very useful in ushering calcium into the bones, and it's found in cucumbers, celery, bell peppers, and all of those things you can throw into a salad. So think about having a big leafy green salad with all of these things. Boom, you can take a calcium supplement, and guess what? Most of it's probably going to go into your bones after eating a big old salad like that. That's pretty easy. Most people enjoy salads. A lot of minerals can be found in sea salt. The pink Himalayan sea salt, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that in the stores, but it's actually like a pinkish color. That's really high in a lot of minerals. We also have sea salt that we have here, which is really great, high in minerals. Sometimes I recommend that you just put like a pinch of it in your water with a little squeeze of lemon. Boom, you got minerals in your water. It's a great way to get that into your diet as well. And seaweed, I know it's not really like a popular thing to just go out there and eat, but there's different forms of seaweed and sea algae as well. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of chlorella or spirulina. Those can be taken as supplements on a daily basis. You can get them at most supplement stores, and that also kind of helps to do the right things with the calcium, to take it into your bones, because that's the goal. You do want strong bones, but you don't want to be taking calcium without any of these things, because it's pointless. It's a waste of your money. Most importantly, too, it's a waste of your money, and it's harmful to your body. It really is a great article to read from. He does, like I said, he has the links on here for all of the research that he did on it. So, if you're somebody that needs proof to back everything up, it's a great place to go. All right, sea vegetables. Oh, kelp is another good source as well. And then, of course, in some ways, milk can be a great source of calcium. Obviously, we have these different versions here, We have coconut, almond, soy, flax, which we didn't put on the sheet that we're going to give you. I don't think, did we? Oh, we did. Cool. Good job. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of these different types of milks and how we can incorporate it into the diet, and why, most importantly, too. Most people have milk with cereal. What else do you guys usually have milk with, if you have milk at all? Typically, cereal is really the only thing. Sometimes you might like a glass of smoothies, maybe with, after you have a brownie, usually like a nice big piece of chocolate cake will make you crave a little bit of milk. And that's fine. There's alternatives to that, because I know that you guys have heard a couple of things about milk, and that a lot of cows are fed hormones to keep their bodies pumping milk, because a cow naturally only produces milk when they're either pregnant or breastfeeding. So how do you get a cow to produce milk its entire life? Pump it full of hormones to trick its body into thinking that it's pregnant or nursing. And then they use a lot of antibiotics to keep the cows from getting sick, because they're held in a lot of tight quarters. And most of the milk that you can get out of a jug, at the store, those cows are held in, such tiny quarters that they don't have big green fields for the cows to just kind of, lay around and eat whatever they want and whenever they want, and eat all this nutritious green grass. So a lot of times they're fed corn, which cows weren't naturally meant to eat in the first place, but hey, it's cheap. You can feed all the cows, you can get a good life out of them, get them pumping milk so we can sell it to all the consumers, right? The only thing about corn is that most corn these days is genetically modified. So when you drink milk, you're essentially drinking what the cow has been eating its whole life. And then I won't go into all the stress that cows undergo too, as being held in such confinement and not really being allowed to be outside very much, things like that. There's a lot of stress that goes on the body of a cow. And if you guys would like a link to a video, it's on YouTube. You can actually look it up. It's very informative about the treatment of cows. And I mean, that's another talk really for another day. Essentially, we're talking about milk. The point is, you want to get a good healthy source of calcium in your body. And if you are hooked on milk, these are some different options for you to have. So Abby is going to explain a little bit about the different nutrient values, and then we're going to have a tasting party, I guess.
I'll just pass these to you, Dennis, and you can kind of just pass them down. That way y'all can follow along if you like.
You take a file.
So yeah, we created kind of a little chart of some of the, not most important, but maybe most commonly looked for vitamins and minerals in different foods. So I'll start with cow's milk. And this is for a cup. 27% of your daily, according to the USDA, 27% of what you need every day in calcium in cow's milk. 6% magnesium. There's 322 milligrams of potassium, no fiber, and 8 grams of protein. Now, keep in mind, 27% of your daily intake of calcium, we're not sure how much your body is actually absorbing. So that's something to keep in mind. So starting with soy milk here, it actually has 45% of the calcium that you need every day, as well as almond milk. So that's a little under double what cow's milk has anyway. So it's a better source of calcium, which is awesome. Also, the flax milk is 30% of that calcium you need every day. It kind of blows my mind that I've always thought cow's milk this is the way to get calcium, but soy milk, almond milk, flax milk all have more calcium than the cow's milk. The coconut milk and the rice milk still have calcium, but they have other things that benefit you more than the cow's milk. Less calcium, but coconut milk has vitamin C, vitamin E, and several of the B vitamins. The flax milk has 1,200 milligrams of those omega-3 fatty acids, which is amazing for brain health especially. And then the rice milk has that B12 vitamin and the vitamin D that you need to push that calcium into your bones. Most of you know about B12. We do injections here. and it's great for energy, but also for your brain function, your nervous system, and for blood formation. So all of these things are, I mean, who would think to drink a glass of rice milk you're getting B12 vitamins? It's amazing. I can't say the same for cow's milk about the B vitamins. And if you notice on cow's milk, it's always fortified with vitamin D, which means, Katie and I were talking about it earlier, it means they strip all the vitamins out of the milk in the process of pasteurizing and making it into skim and low fat, and then they push it back in. But I'm wondering, how good is it? You know, how much did your body absorb? Does your body recognize it as a vitamin? I'm not sure. But fortified is something to watch out for. If it's fortified, it means it's been stripped of something and then they had to put it back in. So it's something to watch out for. Almond milk, I think is probably my favorite. You'll see here, like we said, 45% of your calcium for the day, tons of potassium, a little bit of fiber, a little bit of protein, but it has 50% of the vitamin E that you should be getting every day, and then 25% of that vitamin D. So this would be a great way to make sure that your body is getting the calcium it needs. It's all in there. Coconut milk, we talked a little bit about. Not too much calcium, not too much magnesium, little potassium, but it's those vitamins, vitamin C, E, and B, which you're not really getting with cow's milk. It's amazing. And coconut milk is wonderful. I have a recipe where I cook some chicken breasts and I use a little curry and onions and whatever vegetables, and then at the very end pour in coconut milk, and it's really, really good. So maybe one Wednesday we'll bring that in.
Yeah.
But coconut milk is awesome to cook with. It's good in smoothies. It comes in chocolate, vanilla, unsweetened, regular, and then I think they have other flavors now too. They've made different drinks out of it. So let's see what else. We talked about rice, flax. Yeah, that's pretty much all of them. It's crazy. It's really crazy. The more research that we were doing over the last couple of weeks, the more we're like, oh, I knew cow's milk wasn't that awesome. I knew some of these other things had benefits, but to think that we've been believing that you can only get your calcium from cow's milk and there's no other good source, it's amazing. It blows my mind. So I'm definitely a believer in getting calcium from other sources, and they do taste good, which is what we're going to do next, is let you guys taste everything.